Hurricanes are always devastating when they make landfall, and the latest Hurricane Ian is no different. I flew down to Florida ahead of the storm to help my mom get prepared, and luckily we didn't lose power, but it was still a little scary nonetheless. And to me, the worst part of a hurricane is losing power and not having any air conditioning after the storm passes. Luckily, this time it was a lot less humid, which was really odd to me. Are you tired of dealing with hurricanes and hurricane threats, traffic, the road rage, the cost of living, the humidity, the traffic during season, and just living in Florida in general? I get it. That was me a few years ago. I lived in Naples, Florida for 12 years. I get it. In this video, I'm going to share with you from my perspective 12 things you need to know about moving from Florida to North Carolina. And some things you might totally agree with, and some other things you might think that I'm totally off my rocker. So stay tuned until the end so you don't miss anything. My name is Kristen Brown. I'm a realtor with eXp Realty. If this is your first time to my channel, go ahead and tap on that subscribe button and click on the notification bell so that you get notified the next time I put out a video. Oh, and also, if you can give me a thumbs up for this video, the algorithms really love that, and I would be so grateful. I get a lot of calls, texts, and emails from people every day who are planning to relocate here or to move here. And I love helping people with making their decision about where to live when moving to North Carolina. Make sure you give me a call, send me a text, or shoot me an email, not days, nights, or weekends, so that I can help you figure out where to move to in North Carolina from Florida. All my information is also pinned in the first comment below. If you're thinking about moving to North Carolina from Florida, there are 12 things you need to know before making that move. Number one is the weather. Hurricanes. That's the topic of discussion lately, right? And we do get hurricanes in North Carolina, but that's over on the coast. If you're anywhere inland, like where I am in the Triad, we're not going to get hurricanes. You might get some severe weather every now and then, but nothing like a hurricane that you experience down in Florida. Again, if you're on the coast of North Carolina, that's a totally different conversation. But here in this area where I am, the Triad, we don't get that severe kind of weather like you would get down in Florida. We also have 4 seasons here. So we definitely do have a winter, spring, summer, and fall. And just when you're getting tired of one season, it seems like someone just flips a switch and now it's the next season. Here in the winter, I get asked if we get a lot of snow or if there's any kind of like snow plowing going on, and we really just don't get enough snow. You might get like 1 or 2 inches in this area, but that's really about it. So my suggestion is that you keep a bag of sand in your garage or shed or whatever, and then when we do get that little 1 or 2 inches of snow, you just throw some sand on it, wait a couple hours, and you're good to go. Or you can just wait for the afternoon, and the sun will usually melt whatever's on the ground. Now, if you're in the mountains of North Carolina, then that's different. Of course, you are going to get a lot more snow because you're in a higher elevation. But if you're in the central area where I am, or like even down in Charlotte or over closer to the coast, but again, you got the hurricanes, we're just going to get like a dusting of snow. Also, I feel, in my opinion, that it's less humid here. I've had some people say to me, oh, well, I think it's really humid in North Carolina. Well, I think that it's a lot less humid in North Carolina than it is in Florida. I'm super sensitive to the humidity. So yeah, in the summer, it does get a little bit humid here, but nothing like down in South or Southwest Florida for the humidity. Also, we lose power a lot less here. We do have thunderstorms, but we don't have the big severe lightning thunderstorms like you get down in Florida, where you have to like run around and unplug everything out of the outlets before we're going to get like a huge storm in Florida for fear of losing all your electronics. It would be really rare that we get that kind of big thunderstorm, lightning bolt, lethal type weather like you get down in Florida. Number 2 is the traffic. There's less traffic in North Carolina if you aren't in Raleigh or in Charlotte. And the reason for that is that they've really planned their infrastructure here. As I drive around the Triad, for example, there are some highways that are done, but they're not open yet. So I guess they're just waiting to have that as backup Once they do have enough traffic, then they'll open that other highway up. That leads me to a point, however, when you're buying a house here in North Carolina, you need to make sure you check for any kind of planned infrastructure, unless you want to have an interstate in your backyard in a few years. There are bumpier roads here in North Carolina, and will they fix them eventually? Well, hopefully. We also have a lot of back roads or country roads here. So if the traffic is backed up for some reason on the highway, then usually the GPS will give you a different type of route that you can take to get to your destination within the same amount of time that you were expecting to. And it's actually nice to take a drive sometimes on those back roads or country roads and not be on like Interstate 75 or I-4 or 95 or even 10 for that matter. Number 3 is the housing. Here, the houses are less expensive and you get a lot more bang for your buck. However, you still get what you pay for. So if you think you're going to get something that's super dirt cheap, then you're not really going to meet your expectations. We do have backyards and neighborhoods here, and typically the insurance for homeowners insurance is less expensive on your house because you don't need to have hurricane and flood insurance. However, in the Triad area, which is Greensboro, Winston-Salem, and High Point, there are some areas that do require flood insurance. So when checking to buy a house, you want to make sure that you check and see if that particular house is in a flood zone, because then depending on how you're paying for it, like if you're paying a mortgage, then your mortgage company is going to want you to have flood insurance for that particular house. Please take a minute to like this video. The algorithms really love that. And while you're at it, please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so that you are notified the next time I put out a video. Number 4 are the jobs. Economic development is pretty huge here in North Carolina, and there's something you can Google called North Carolina Core. That's just taking off, and it's bringing 13,000 jobs within a 120-mile stretch of central North Carolina. One that comes to mind is the Jet Boom Factory that will be over at PTI, which is over in Greensboro. It's going to be an aerospace center, and they're going to be making supersonic jets there. The Toyota has a hybrid factory, the Toyota Hybrid Factory plant, whatever you want to call it. And it's a manufacturing facility in Randolph County. Randolph County is between Guilford County and Davidson County. Guilford County is where Greensboro is, and Lexington is where Davidson County is. Another manufacturing site will be over in Chatham, Siler City. Then there's also the Triangle Innovation Point, which is about 30 minutes from Raleigh-Durham Airport, the state capital, and highly ranked universities. And Florida typically has been a hospitality service-oriented kind of job place, and maybe it's evolved since I moved from Florida, since more and more people are working online. But if you're looking for maybe a career change or to get into something going on with the North Carolina Core, check it out online, or you can always give me a call for more information. Number 5 are food shopping choices. There isn't a Publix here on every corner like there is down in Florida. There's usually a Publix within a 25-minute drive somewhere in the Triad. Some that come to mind are the one in Greensboro, Winston-Salem, High Point, and Clemens. But there's definitely not a Publix here in every corner. We do have a Whole Foods here. We also have a Lowe's Foods, not to confuse that with Lowe's hardware store, but a Lowe's Foods. It's kind of similar to Publix. We also have a Trader Joe's, a Lidl, which is the brother or sister, however you want to look at it, of Aldi. And Aldi is another grocery store. I think they have Aldi now down in Florida. I believe I saw one when I was down a couple weeks ago. Number 6 is car registration and insurance. It will be a little bit more expensive your first year because there will be an excise tax that you will need to pay on your car when bringing a car from one state to another. And this excise tax is based on the value of the car. So they'll assess what the value is and then give you what your excise tax will be. This is only one tax that you pay the first year, and you don't pay that going forward. Going into the second year, you will pay for a property tax on your car, which they assess the value of your car. So if you have a super expensive car, you're going to pay more property tax on it. And then you also pay for your registration. The other thing that we have here is a state inspection. So you get your car inspected by the state once a year, and they give you a little sticker that you put on your license plate. So that might be something that's different from what you're used to coming from Florida. But if you want to look at it this way, you're not paying for hurricane and flood insurance on your house. So it's more of a wash. car insurance ranges between $400 to $1,400 on average. And it just depends on what your coverage is, where you're located, your driving record, all those sorts of things. North Carolina is a really big state, just like Florida, and it's really hard to make decisions regarding where you want to relocate to without talking to someone like me who has been in your shoes. So give me a call, send me a text, or shoot me an email so we can pinpoint together which area of North Carolina will best suit you. My number is below. Number 7 is restaurants. With restaurants here, I've had to really search these out. They're not as plentiful as they are in Naples, for example. And just the other day, I was talking with a colleague of mine who moved from the east coast of Florida up to the Winston-Salem area. And we were talking about Lexington here in North Carolina and how Lexington has a lot of commercial space in their downtown that can be rented by chefs, for example, and it could really be turned into a foodie destination. So if you're a chef or in the restaurant industry and looking to move to a place that's going to explode one of these days, you might want to put Lexington on your list. Number 8 is the arts. We have the same sort of cultural events here in North Carolina as in Florida. There's an amphitheater in Charlotte. A lot of great concerts come through there. We have a lot of festivals that go on, especially in the fall. And I'm really looking forward to the barbecue festival that's going to be happening in Lexington on October 22nd this year. Do you still have questions? Be sure to give me a call, send me a text, or shoot me an email. My contact information is pinned below, as well as my number is going across the screen. Number 9, North Carolina is the number 4 state for migration in the country. And the top 2 reasons that people are moving to North Carolina is for the jobs and for families. I have the link to this information pinned in my first comment below. Number 10 are the beaches. We have hundreds of miles of beaches, just like Florida. It's over on the Atlantic side, so you're not going to get that like white sandy beach like you would get in, let's say, Sarasota, Siesta Key, or even in Naples. Also on one of the beaches, they have wild horses that you can go see. It's pretty cool. Number 11 are the mountains, and that's something that Florida does not have. We get lots of snow in the mountains, and you can actually ski in the mountains. Is it going to be as good as skiing in Colorado? No, but if you need to get your ski fix, then we have mountains. So technically you could go from the beach or go to the beach on Saturday and go to the mountains on Sunday. So depending, getting back to the beach where you want to go, we're about 2 hours from the beach where I am in the Triad area. Or if you want to get down closer to like the South Carolina border, then it's more like 4 hours. The mountains you can get to in about an hour and a half to 3 hours. Again, it just depends where in the mountains that you want to go to. Number 12 is the internet. We have fast, reliable internet. I kind of feel like a commercial saying that, but it's true. We do have fast, reliable internet. My husband works from home 100% of the time. My office is also at home. And in all of this time, we've only had the internet go down once. And it went down for 2 days and it wasn't a big deal. He called Spectrum, told them what the problem was. They had someone who came out and fixed the line. And just in that little bit of inconvenient time, we just used our hotspot. Now, if you're going to be in a rural area or you want an area that's not in like a metro area, we'll have to research that and see what the internet access is or what kind of internet there is that's available. So if you are thinking about moving or relocating from Florida to North Carolina, give me a call, send me a text, or shoot me an email. And why should you contact me? Well, because I lived in Florida for 12 years and I know firsthand what it's like living in Florida and living in North Carolina. I will be your realtor who will help you find exactly what you're looking for. Get out the map, pinpoint different areas, and find exactly what you are looking for. And until the next video, I'll catch you later.